First up, Lurch, Carl Stroiken. Ladies and gentlemen, Pugsley himself, Jimmy Workman. I think it's safe to say everybody's favorite day of the week, Wednesday, Christina Ricci. Now, I've got some agents out there trying to figure out what Uncle Fester's up to right now. That might be a mystery we have to solve later, but here's one mystery we don't have to wait to solve. Who's ready for some Morticia? The matriarch of the Addams family, Anjelica Huston. Thank you all for joining us here today. What a reunion indeed. I want to take things back to when you were first making this movie, because getting everybody together really feels special, especially when the Addams family is such an iconic family that we all look up to in our own ways. I want to know, what was the feel on set? Was there a family feel for you when you were making this movie?
Pretty bonded, and everybody, Anjelica and Raul and Carl and Chris, they were all so kind to us as, you know, we were kids. They were so kind to us, and I know, you know, I spent hours in your trailer learning things from you and asking a million questions.
Asking if you could drive.
Wanting to drive, yes.
That actually got crashed in Paramount a few times.
A couple of golf cart incidents on set.
Yeah.
Who was the worst? And when I say the worst,
Trouble.
Yeah, she started it, I crashed him, and it kind of went downhill from there.
well, you know what? Before we get much further, we do have an empty chair here, and that does feel even a little too odd for the Addams family. So I do want to maybe. Do we have one more member of the Addams family we could bring up? Yeah, I think we do. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, how about Uncle Fester himself, Christopher? So, Chris, were you up to some Uncle Fester stuff? Doing Uncle Fester stuff? You were up to some Uncle Fester stuff before you came up on the stage? Yeah. We were speaking as Gomez, and boy, I want to start off here by talking about what your memories of working with Raul were, and what's the first thing that comes to mind when you think of that experience?
He's a perfect gentleman. Always. There it is.
There it is.
He was always first on set, last to leave. He was incredibly amenable. He'd do anything you asked him to. He was a great dancer. I'd get really grumpy around dancing rehearsals, which I felt were unnecessary because I was such an excellent dancer. And he would insist on being there on time and staying all the way through. He was consummate professional, really great, really fun, and he'd always sing between scenes, between takes. He always would sing full opera, so he kept us entertained.
Christopher, how about you? Do you have any strong memories of Raul?
Yeah.
thinking of his singing. He did a lot of singing in some Broadway musicals. Mr. I forget the name of it. It was
Kiss of the Spider Woman, Don Quixote.
de la Mancha. And, but I remember once we had a scene when we were, it was like nighttime, Italy, gondolas, someone like in a cavern, supposedly.
We were always in a cavern.
Yes. And it was very romantically lit. And when nobody was shooting, Raul got up and would sing these arias. And it was so beautiful and romantic and incredibly wonderful. He had a big, big heart, a very warm person, very loving. And yeah.
And Christina and Jimmy, how about you? Did he serve as sort of like was there like any father figure stuff coming from him as well? Any lessons learned there?
Well, yes. He, as we've already covered, he loved singing. That was amazing. He used to play, at least with me, he used to play jacks and cards, chase me around, not telling me when I did something wrong, which was pretty much 99.9% of the time. All around, he was just a great man. I mean, I can't tell you, I'm half Greek and my grandparents came from Greece. We were shooting in Burbank, I think it was by the golf course, the facade of the house. During lunch, he actually scaled the side of the hill with my grandmother, picking what he perceived to be a spinach, which probably could have been, could not have been, but that just kind of showed you what type of person he was, caring, and just wanted to be involved in a part of things. That's the man I know and remember.
Yeah, he was really, really incredible. He was just such a brilliant actor and so much fun to be around, so charming. And yeah, he sung opera at the top of his lungs and danced, and he taught us Puerto Rican songs. And then he also seemed to he was just so empathetic and generous, and I think he could tell sometimes when we as kids were nervous. And I remember several times feeling really nervous, and he would call me over and start singing a song with me or teaching me a little dance or something to just make things easier for me and sort of break up how anxious I was. And he was just so lovely and warm. Really incredible man.
How about for you, Carl? Any Raul memories come to mind?
Well, apart from his wonderful singing the repertoire of all the songs he knew, another memory I have of him is after the movie we had to do all these press junkets, and he got mad as hell about that. Because it went on from 7 in the morning till somewhere in the evening. So at a certain point he grabbed me and he said, "Come, we're gonna go to the bar." And so we sat in the bar and he said, "This is all on Paramount Stab. So what is the most expensive bottle of you have here?" And so we drank a bottle of very expensive cognac. And even though I'm not an enthusiastic drinker of liquor, of course I couldn't pass up on this one.
I love that everybody seems to have a little bit of a mischievous streak. It fits. Anjelica, you and I were talking a little bit